As great as it is that we can track this interaction, there were several other state updates that happened as well as a result of this interaction that just happened later. And I want to capture all of those state updates and associate that to this interaction. For example, in this second profile call, we had one of these that was the state update that happened when the data came back from this request. And I want to associate that to this interaction as well. For that to work, we're going to go to the use async hook in our hooks here. We're going to import unstable wrap, and let's alias that as wrap from scheduler/tracing. And then with this wrap function, it accepts a function and returns a function that does the exact same thing that this function does. So it just calls into this function, but it just allows you to associate this function callback with whatever you're tracing currently. And we'll want to do the same thing with the error case as well, so that when this function callback happens, any state updates that are triggered as a result of that, which ultimately will trigger a re-render, that re-render or that update will be associated with the exact same trace label that we associated here, giving us even more information for our profiler. So let's come back here. We'll clear all this out. I'll click this button and we'll get a profile that has all of that information. So let's find it. There's our interaction right there. And then not there, not there. Some of this is just getting that spinner showing. And then finally, there it is. When that promise resolves and we set the data, then that triggers a state update, and here's the interaction that was associated with that state update. To make things even cooler, the profiler takes this into account as well. So let me start profiling. I'll click this button, and then I'll stop profiling, and then we'll go to this profiled interactions. And there we go. We have click on mark as read, and we can click on the specific commits, the beginning and the end, and it will show us in the flame graph chart what components were rendered as a result of that interaction. So here's our re-render when our use async hook called that set data. We updated the tooltip button, and if we go here, this is what happened when the user clicked that button in the first place. That triggered our entire book screen to update because of the optimistic update that we make here when we update one of our list items. So in review, what we did here is we imported unstable wrap. We aliased it as wrap from the scheduler tracing module. And then down here, inside of our run callback, we wrapped all the functions that we knew were going to run later as a result of this interaction. One other thing that I want to do here is I don't want to import scheduler tracing all over the place. I'd rather have all of my profiler stuff in my profiler module. So I'm going to export unstable trace as trace and unstable wrap as wrap from scheduler tracing. And with that now, I can import trace from the profiler module right here. And I can import wrap from the components profiler module there. And now I have the ability to give all of the information needed for the production performance monitoring to be really useful and helping me triage performance bottlenecks that my users experience in production.